Today we'll be taking a look at tarot, otherwise known as a reminder to stay away from girls into astrology. Trust me bro. Written and directed by Anna Hallberg and Spencer Cohen, who were both involved with the creation of Expend 4 Blaze. I wanted to check out something of theirs before jumping in, and had learned that they previously created a short movie called Blink. A captivating movie about the benefits of being paralysed. And a short movie that honestly got me a bit excited to watch tarot, something that is exceedingly rare for me to feel these days, on account of nothing ever topping pink flamingos. And you know what else gets me feeling things? Today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Long time no see. Whether I'm hiding from the responsibilities known as parenthood in the bathroom, waiting for the kettle to boil, or just have a few minutes of downtime, Raid is something that I can pick up and enjoy, and put back down whenever I need to. Raid's got everyone's favourite multicoloured hair flosser as a hero, Ninja. After 3 years, he's back for a limited time only as a super limited edition and incredibly powerful champion, the legendary Shadowkin Champion Ninja. To get your hands on him, only available between now and August 20th, 2024, click the link at the top of the description and use the code NINJARETURNS to get the Shadowkin fighter and in-game useful items. That's not all that's available for new players, as Raid's running a competition that could see you winning a handheld gaming console, a drone, or even a VR headset. Download the game using my link or QR code, go to wefinallyplayedit.plarium.com, enter your player ID, record yourself playing the game, and upload the video to the event's website. To see submissions and vote, head over to wefinallyplayedit.plarium.com, and the top 12 submissions will win a gaming handheld console, a drone, a VR headset, and Amazon gift cards worth up to $2,000, with everyone also getting the chance to win some in-game loot. So click the link at the top of the description or scan the QR code, and get started with a free pack with an epic champion Annex, while getting another pack at level 15 that includes an epic Fane. I hope to see you on the battlefield sometime soon, and maybe consider joining my clan, Big Will Best Friends. And once again, a big thank you to Raid for sponsoring the video. The movie begins by introducing us to a group of friends around a campfire: Paxton, Paige, Grant, Haley, Elise, Lucas and Madeline, something that is incredibly unrealistic due to it being scientifically proven that it's impossible to have more than one friend. Or maybe that's just me. They're renting out an old creepy house and getting drunk to celebrate Elise's birthday. But after running out of beer and wanting more alcohol, they start looking around the house to commit some good old-fashioned theft. They discover a locked door with a keep out sign on the front and proceed to immediately keep in. And sticking with the theme of messing with things that don't belong to them, Paxton discovers an old box with a pentagram on it containing tarot cards. A very clear sign that's saying, "Please leave me alone and don't ever touch me," with them very much touching everything that they absolutely shouldn't be. Haley's into Scientology, or astrology, whatever it's called, and reluctantly agrees to read everyone's horoscope due to it being bad luck to use someone else's deck. Yeah, it's called theft. As soon as she opens the box, they all feel a gust of wind pass through the house, as the box did a little fart. Paxton excuses himself to use the restroom as they're getting their readings done, and sees what appears to be a person with glowing eyes, before being revealed that it's just my portrait, a trash can. Everyone gets their reading, including Haley, and they go to bed for the night, when we see the tarot card light up, because everything is RGB these days. After seeing someone in desperate need of a manicure, the birthday celebration is a success, involving breaking and entering, and allowing demonic entities into the world that very much shouldn't be there. With them all back home, Elise, alone in her dorm room, as everyone she lives with has gone out to a party, decides to take a bath because she's a bit smelly. Once she's done not being so smelly anymore, she discovers that the attic in the middle of the hallway is open, and that the ladder is down. After closing it, because it's just the pesky local poltergeist up to antics again, from her bedroom, she hears a loud bang. It's the attic door open again. Hearing footsteps and what appears to be the giggles of her friends from the dorm, she heads up there, thinking that they're playing a prank on her. But instead of her friends playing a prank on her, it's the priestess from the card she pulled playing a murder on her. After looking out of the attic and then back in it, all of the items have completely disappeared, to instead be replaced by a clear health and safety breach, lit candles and upside down crosses. The priestess appears and then throws her from the ladder and begins to pull it back up. Haley begins crawling away from this weird lady, but suddenly an unseen entity pulls her backwards beneath the ladder, before it's then repeatedly dropped onto her spine, as yet again, this creature does not take health and safety very seriously. This lady is not forklift certified. Paige, from the group of friends, isn't exactly happy about Elise recreating the scene from Final Destination 2, and the rest of the group are over at her place. Once they're all done having a little bit of a cry about their dead friend or something, Lucas decides to walk home, where we see that he's being followed by one of my alternate personalities, the Hermit. Lucas heads down to the subways to play some IRL Subway Surfers because he's got that Gen Z in him, and while he's down there, he sees it. The Hermit, being the card that he pulled when Haley was doing his reading. Knowing this and spotting the weird-looking person, he decides to make a run for it as the lights go out because he's scared of the dark. He ends up in a restricted and what looks to be an unused part of the subway before looking down to see a newspaper with his face on it, reading "You die today." Not going to be told what to do by a dead tree, he's jump scared by the creature asking for a kiss and hides in an old train. But after the Hermit enables no clip and floats across the map towards him, it suddenly disappears. And while hiding out in this restricted and what looks to be unused part of the subway, he finds out that it is unfortunately used for about 0.3 seconds after the creature jumps out at him, causing him to jump from the train and into another one. And by into another one, I mean all over another one. The rest of the friend group find out about his death and don't believe that they're two unrelated accidents that happened back to back. One, because Elise simply refuses to use ladders, and two, Lucas having a severe phobia of trains. Understandable. Haley realizes that the deaths are based on the readings that they received back at the house. Looking up some very reputable information about the stars and the planets doing something, they discover multiple articles and tarot deaths all from the same person. Alma. Social clues being something that this group simply doesn't understand, they drive right out to her house. Something that we all know that wouldn't happen in this day and age, as most people would rather die at the hands of a horrific demon than put themselves in a potentially awkward social situation. After arriving, she tells them of multiple other stories of groups of friends mysteriously dying after having their readings read from a box that sounds surprisingly similar to theirs. She was involved in one of those groups, but the only reason that she managed to survive the ordeal is because that she was the one doing the readings and that she never did her own. Unlike Haley. She tells them that someone known as the astrologer back in the late 1700s did readings for a count and his pregnant wife. She told the count that his wife and son would pass away during childbirth, and there was absolutely nothing that she could do to stop it on account of hating children. And when it eventually came true, the count wanted revenge for it. He accused the woman of witchcraft, which resulted in the angry mob taking and killing her daughter. Despite being released from the financial burden which is parenthood, the astrologer wasn't exactly pleased with the outcome, so decided to do some readings for the count and all of the people close to him, while performing a ritual that would bind her soul to the cards. Since then, anyone who has their horoscope read from that deck of cards would face a gruesome death. Apart from heading to the pub and waiting for all of this to blow over, the only potential way out of this for them is to retrieve and destroy the box. Because screw boxes. But while on their way back from Alma's place, their car breaks down on a bridge. Madeline begins to panic because her reading told her that technology might begin to fault, but not to worry because it will all be water under the bridge soon. The reading also said that she usually runs away when faced with danger, but maybe this time, she should stay and face it. Immediately preceded by her not staying and facing it, after seeing a hangman in the window, the very card that she was given. She begins sprinting off over this unusually long bridge for what seems like an unrealistic amount of time, with Haley taking chase after her to slap her in the face for being such a scaredy cat. Paxton, Grant and Paige see something carrying a rope scramble its way down the bridge, when suddenly a noose is wrapped around Madeline's neck, and she's lifted up from the ground by the hangman. He decides to do a test to check the structural integrity of her neck, but unfortunately Madeline fails the test while all of her friends are watching. That's embarrassing. So taking Alma's advice, they decide that they should probably head back to the house and destroy the box, except Paxton just can't really be bothered. He refuses to go with them and end this because living is overrated anyway, and while on his own, hears the creepy sound of a presumably creepy person while walking home. Paxton was given the Joker card, but unfortunately for him, his friend Spider-Man is from the Marvel universe and not DC. He watches as the Joker demonstrates his incredibly impressive flexibility, which causes Paxton to become a bit panicked. He gets in an elevator, but once it reaches his desired floor, he's confronted with the uncomfortable sight of some weird-looking dude. He calls Grant, but the call drops, and the elevator begins opening and closing, with the Joker using his teleportation hacks to instantly appear in different locations. While it appears that the Joker hasn't taken his BPD medication because his emotions begin rapidly changing, the Joker tears open the top of the elevator and snarls his teeth at Paxton before the camera cuts away, because that guy really needs to brush his teeth. The other friends return to the house after being kind enough to book it again, with Paige discovering that some curses have an object that need to be destroyed, while others have a connection that needs to be severed. Kinda like when mum turns off the internet because you've been playing too much Roblox. Hayley throws the box of cards into the fireplace, but they refuse to burn because they're kind of stubborn like that. They call their cool old lady friend that's absolutely pivotal and incredibly important to the plot, with her arriving at the house to perform a ritual to separate the astrologer's soul from the cards. Anyway, Alma immediately dies, as the astrologer appears to read Alma's horoscope, with that apparently being a thing that she can do now. Alma's given the cards 6 of Swords, which is like the card 5 of Swords, except one more. Alma's pulled backwards into the darkness before being dropped in front of the group of friends with 6 swords protruding through her, as they've all just caused this little old lady to die. Whoops. With Alma being killed just as quickly as she arrived, they all make a run for it, and apparently not watching any horror movie literally ever, Paige is separated from the group before walking directly into a magician, the card that she was given. He turns around to reveal his twisted and tormented face, as apparently he's from Birmingham. We see a crowd of equally good-looking people applaud, and Paige, deciding that she's not really in the mood to watch a magic show right now, tries to flee but would rather hide in a box. You know, a box, when there's an evil demonic demon magician about. Sounds like a great idea. And a great idea it is, if Paige's idea of a good time is being cut in half, as that's exactly what happens to her. She did always say she wished she could be in 2 places at once. Hayley, getting kind of bothered by the fact that she's not going to have anyone to text after this, comes up with the idea of reading the astrologer's horoscope in order to curse the cursee. Hayley and Grant begin to have a little bit of a moment, talking about how cool and unstoppable they are, before learning that they are indeed quite stoppable, as the devil throws Grant out of the window, after Grant is given an impromptu and non-consensual base jumping session by his card the devil. The devil then transforms into Hayley's card Death, and tries to do just that. She hides in a wardrobe, hoping to go to Narnia or something, but where she ends up going is directly out of that room, as Death appears behind her. The entity then lifts her up by the throat instead of just immediately killing her and getting it over with, which gives a somehow still alive Grant the perfect opportunity to hit it in the face with a fire poker. Grant seemingly being the only one who was spared a vicious death for very important plot reasons, with him just being kind of thrown to the side. Literally. Transforming back into the devil after learning a lesson about not doing half a job, he goes back after Grant, which then gives Hayley the opportunity to begin reading the astrologer's horoscope. Grant gets knocked to the ground and is dragged towards a burning bush, before being inappropriately touched by a group of people from hell. The horoscope gets the attention of the astrologer, but Hayley says that she's too late, as she's already read her card, and it's death. The astrologer then proceeds to be defeated by a mildly threatening gust of wind, before the cards fall to the ground and finally burn up. And the movie then comes to an end, with Grant and Hayley surviving with absolutely zero social commitments because all of their friends are dead. Except unfortunately that's not true, as somehow Paxton survived his ordeal with the funny looking guy in the elevator, after being interrupted by his roommate, who found him screaming on the floor. Happened to me once. So before this video comes to an end, I'd like to just give a big shout out and a massive thank you to all of the YouTube members and patrons, the people who every month continue to go out of their way to help support the channel, something which I greatly appreciate. If you're interested in becoming a YouTube member or a patron yourself, not only are you just being a great support, but you also get access to a few little cool perks, like being able to join the private Discord server, where you can then get links to all uncensored versions of videos going forward. So with that being said, a big thank you to this week's new YouTube members: Sebastian Muller, Christopher, Buffalo Bill, Jet Curley, Ben Copefield, Never Gonna Give You Up, Snorlax42, Di Shipton, Big Black Man, Mohammed Amin, Mike Crane, Nick K, Mr. FPS, Andre Tritches, Stuart573, Selak San, Kristen Eriks.here, Jonas Emre Uvas, The Soldier 420, Christian Seafried, Mark Grove Carter, FR1 Solemn 7, Thiago Uart, Matthew Sabo, Izu Divin, Pyro Spent, Zazar Lord, Jared, LaFay, Mate Horvath, Nana, Lil Quid, Cyberdyne Systems, AG, Dr. Bronfolmu, James Murphy, Joe Mama, Rebecca Rodriguez, CeeLo Graham, Juiced, Zovo99, Pineapple, Niwook, Hazel Ayumi, and Asox. Now moving over to this week's new Patreon signups, a massive thank you to Peter Eichenberg, FR1 Salem 7, Ick, Joshua Gibson, Dalton Creel, Zach Dukes, Jisheng Greenberg, Inferno Walter, RTAV, Jocelyn, Dono, Jolene Islands, Cookie, Snowy, Cosmos, Salem Green, Frog Boots, Josh McTiernan, Riazel, Kenneth Bonneville Kine, Moses, Wade Bowman, George Gomez, Troy Richards, Dennis Yordanov, Andy Robertson, Noah George, Tristan Largo, Shane Savoy, Guilhermo Elmal, Richard Pierce, Jason Drilo, Greason Riggs, Lemonard 10, Tyson Hudson, Brad Johnson, James, Breadbox, and Nolfix. So once again, a big shout out to all of the YouTube members and patrons, and a massive thank you to everyone else for watching.